we'd like to take a second to thank this week's sponsor, Null Void Apparel. Null Void is an artwear brand based out of upstate New York and focuses on the absurdity of human existence in a commodified world. They use pop culture, music, sarcasm, and dark humor to bring forth surrealist concepts with a message: to be anti-evil and pro-humanity. Their goal is to always make accessible clothing with sustainable materials and processes and have fun doing it. They're the court jesters of counterculture. They're here to make you laugh, think, and to be a little weirded out in the process. So go to www.nullvoidapparel.com and embrace the absurdity. Thank you again, Null Void Apparel, for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. Let's get back to the show.
That's wild. That's fucking wild. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? A podcast about life in the music industry. This week, we got a really awesome guest.
Yes,
Daniel Garrow from the band No Bragging Rights. Bear, how are you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing all right, man. This episode was really fun. Daniel likes to make pizza.
Oh, gosh.
So,
And-
as a pop punker at heart, dude, like,
Yeah.
of
And
course,
you know how us pop punkers, we just love
except
our
for
pizza.
some of the pizzas that he was talking about in that section.
Yeah, and
So
you'll get to
you'll
it,
get there,
but
and you'll probably feel exactly the same way.
But
we
first
do.
off, just to pop up your old Instagram account, go look at Pizza and Riffs and look at the pictures of those pizzas.
Dude,
you're gonna lose it.
I gotta eat now. And welcome back to another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? A podcast about life in the music industry. And today we have our good friend Daniel Garrow from No Bragging Rights. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're stoked to have you on, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I've been following your guys' stuff and listening in when I can. I've been incredibly busy, but I love what you guys are doing. You guys are killing the
Is it bad that I thought I was going to say I've been following you guys' stuff and I've been incredibly bored?
Oh,
No.
I've been incredibly disappointed with your performance.
Yeah, everything about it. I'm not a huge fan. I don't really like supporting.
Just do better. Do better.
Like, I feel like people have to earn my follow. You know what I mean? Like, my follow has weight. No.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Pat, bring us into this beautiful section.
Absolutely. So Daniel, you joined No Bragging Rights about 2008. Since NBR started, you released about 5 albums and 2 EPs. You released your new self-titled record in December of 2021 after a 7-year hiatus. What was the reason for that time away, and what prompted the comeback?
It was kind of a long time coming. Like, we toured very heavily for 2008 to whenever our last tour was, sometime 2015.
Right.
We toured our asses off, and we were all mentally, physically drained. And it was kind of like, it used to be fun, and now it's a job. And that sounds so cliche, but it very much so was.
There's a truth to that, though.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The road weighs on you.
It really does. Ask anybody who's done a Warped Tour.
Oh yeah, and so we've done Warped Tour, but we haven't done Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Like, we were those little minnows following around the tour and selling our CDs in line and selling water for gas money and shit. Like, those were the wretched days where.
And that's where you and I actually met.
Yeah, that's where we met. Yeah.
Yeah.
We met a lot of people on that. I mean, it's a great place to network for sure.
Oh yeah. It is just a wild atmosphere, the whole Warped Tour experience.
Not for everybody. I mean, tour is not for everybody. Like, some people just shouldn't do that tour.
I was gonna say, we didn't have an 18-wheeler or nothing, but
yeah,
just sitting here like, it was okay for me. I don't know what you're talking about. The heat didn't even bother me at all.
Actually,
the air conditioning on the bus was great.
Right? Like,
the only time that I actually did Warped Tour not in the van was with Plug Your Holes.
Yeah,
and you were driving, Pat.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
fair.
That was.
Yep.
I was
that
just
was
gonna
that one.
say, like, it seems to be a rare occasion when you find a band who's driving in like a 40 350 that the air conditioning is actually working.
Right, yeah. Or
It-
not working well enough.
Right. And that was just that whole Warped Tour that we were on together. I mean, it was a good time. I mean, it's always a good time with Sam Dean and the Plug Your Holes crew. So
Yeah. That guy is so interesting to me. A pretty fond memory I have of him. We were sitting in line. It was an after party at Warped Tour, and we were
Yep.
sitting in line waiting to have a drink, and or waiting to get a drink, and we were talking casually, and then these people. So I think he wasn't paying attention to his spot in line, and people started walking forward, and we weren't paying attention or something, and
sounds accurate.
these younger kids kind of stepped around us, and whereas I'm like very like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, I don't care, like just whatever, it's two people. Sam was like, excuse me, and like had no problem
Oh yeah.
like putting them in their fucking place, and they're like, well, how are we supposed to know if you're in line? I'm like, don't act like a 12-year-old. Do you know where you are right now? And he just lit these people up, and he wasn't mean to him, but
Right.
he has no problem saying what's on his mind.
Right. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, and to be fair, I mean, he was a fuck, I don't know, close to it, if not a 10-year vet, close to a 10-year Warped Tour vet. You know, I mean, like,
Jeez.
he'd been doing it for so long. So, yeah, I mean that's just kind of noob mentality. Just like, well, I'm just gonna cut these people.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly, like, I don't know their point of view or exactly, but it was just so funny to me, and I was like so embarrassed because I'm not aggressive. It takes a lot for me to get there, and and not that he was aggressive. He just had. I was just like,
yeah. Well, maybe we'll get lucky enough, and the people that did that remember it and are magically listening to this podcast, and they can comment below. Let us know their side of the story.
Yeah, let us know your side.
Yeah. So, from the beginning of Strength's perspective until the last notes of Unapologetic, you're hit with a barrage of emotions on this new album. What would you say is your favorite song or songs off of it?
I think my favorite song is I still only know working titles. Is it Unapologetic? We called it Your Best Mate because we just came up with stupid names for the songs.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's kind of what everybody does. I think one of my earlier albums was Cities Never Sleep. I remember them as just the stupid names we came up with during the demo process.
Yeah, I believe it's Unapologetic. It's the last track on the EP.
That would be
Ass Beater.
Ass Beater, is that one?
It's an ass beater of a song for sure.
Oh,
I love that song.
I didn't know if that was the demo name.
Oh no, the demo name was Your Best Mate, like Your Best Mate. And I don't really know why or the circumstances. There's a couple funny ones. There's one called The Wait was originally called Sad But Cute.
Nice.
Because it was I don't remember them all, but yeah, I'd say Unapologetic is probably my favorite track.
So why would that be your favorite track off of this? Does it have like any kind of like lyrical impact or just musically, or
it checks a lot of boxes for me. So that was one that me and Tron is our new guitar player, built completely together. A lot of the songs I had demoed in my phone or like bits and pieces or whatever. But that was one of, I think, 3 or 4 maybe that we had wrote together. And he did this thing, and I think it's kind of genius. He mapped out an entire song on drums with no thought of any kind of guitar arrangements. And he's like, I just want to see what you do with this. And I listened to the intro and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because it was so sporadic. There was nothing like organized about it. But then like I remember that like I am a big fan of like chaos intros. Like
Sure.
so the intros that are like, what's going on? And then like there's a break and then you're in it. Like, and sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's fast, but that whole intro is just like one gigantic chaos intro, and I absolutely love how it turned out.
Nice. That's a really rad way to go about writing a song though. Like
I've never done it before,
just
but
starting
it
with
worked.
drums.
Yep. And then the whole premise of the song was write everything on drums and then do guitar arrangements over it. But there was one stipulation where we wanted a 2-step beat that was almost too fast to 2-step 2, and that's those verses. And I think it's like great. Like I think it's a very energetic tempo, and like it's still so crowd involved. Mike, everything that he did lyrically is amazing. It talks about his struggle with depression and anxiety, whereas he's always been on the receiving end of other people that are struggling. He talks about his own anxieties, which is like super opening and awesome of him to be like that honest with a crowd of people. I love that about the song. I absolutely love the build up into the breakdown, and then there's the breakdown's awesome, and then there's that big like crowd part. I am not my illness, I am not my past mistakes, and it's just a big crowd sing along. Like everybody can fucking relate to that. Are you kidding me? Like, don't tell me that like you hear this song and like you don't feel a little something from that.
Absolutely.
I think it's just a super powerful song, and I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, it's not going to make it onto our set list for Tough Love, but I would definitely like to see it come on at some point.
That'd be awesome.
Have you had an opportunity to play any of these songs live yet?
No. We have our first show back in March at Tough Love in Santa Ana, California. Other than that, like we haven't really got together since the studio. We've all kind of just been rehearsing on our own time. I've been sending videos to Tron and like how to play the old stuff, and I'm finally getting into like brushing up on the old stuff and relearning the new stuff, because there's songs that I am not rehearsed on the new album at all. Like Unapologetic, if I sat down and tried to play that for you right now, it would be a joke. For sure. It's my favorite song.
I definitely can relate to that.
Same. Yeah. Literally same, especially when it comes to like sending stuff back and forth between people and just trying to actually rehearse on your own time. Oh man. And then you gotta push it, you got it's you. Like you're the one who's gotta kick your own ass to get it started. Yeah. Like you don't have Fridays anymore for band rehearsal, you know, like whatever it might be, like you gotta fucking do it. It's hard, man. So I feel you there.
Yeah, and I noticed that you're a parent, so you can especially relate. Me and my wife are new parents. We just had our son in October.
Wow!
I mean,
brand new.
Yeah, brand new. Almost new. 4 months. Yeah,
it's still easy at this point.
What model year is yours?
It gets harder.
Oh my god. Yeah. I've got a 12-year-old.
Oh god, you have a 12-year-old? I had no idea.
Yeah, man. I have a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old. So
man,
during your time away from music, what do you feel has changed in the music industry in terms of promoting your band and music? Do you feel like it's gotten easier or harder?
Oh shit. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what's been going on. Like, I feel like a recluse, man. Like, I haven't been involved in the scene. I mean, streaming now, I feel like streaming was definitely a thing when we stopped. But like, it wasn't everyone's main source. Like, people weren't really, they weren't buying physicals. I can tell you that. You can tell Pure Noise that.
I mean, CDs were still relevant, though.
Yeah, CDs were relevant. They're more relevant than they are now. I think records have made even more of a comeback. Like, I know that we definitely jumped on that opportunity, and I love record collecting. I mean, I have a little collection myself, and
Mhm.
I love it. I think vinyl's made its way back even more, and I think that's probably the smartest physical choice that a consumer can make based on quality. I mean, assuming that most people are pressing 180 gram records, which I mean, a lot of people aren't. But when you get a good heavy 180 gram record, you feel it and you're like, oh, this is awesome. It's got some weight to it. And I don't know. I love it.
Well, and vinyl is just so fun though, because it's like, I mean, yeah, you can like, you're gonna get some that are just like the, you know, the standard black vinyl, but that's almost kind of rare now. I feel like everybody's got like a cool looking vinyl, and it's just more fun to collect. Granted, it takes up more space, but it's more fun to collect than like a CD or a cassette or something. And with the world of streaming now, where I mean, you don't have to buy music, unfortunately, so it kind of kills bands in the way of making substantial or actual sustainable money.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but if you love a band, you're gonna get their vinyl, you know, because
and that's
cool
my
looking.
rule. That's my rule is I don't have a set rule exactly, but like if I really love the band, I'll go out and get the record. And I think like once that I notice that I'm getting like 2 or 3 or 4 of their albums in rotation, I'm like, oh, I really like this band. I should probably like buy the record. And
Absolutely.
I'll do it. And I'll eventually work my way up into getting their whole discography. Like I think I have Pup's entire discography. I think I have the Menzinger's entire discography.
Good. Pop is real good.
Oh, I fucking love Pup. But the thing that I love about vinyl that kind of takes me back, that I feel like a lot of other people that might be able to relate to, is that I remember being like 14, 15, first getting into punk rock, and like I'd buy CDs and I get them in the mail, and there was this relationship that you had with it. Like you put it on and you read all the lyrics front to back. You listen to every song. You listen to it with headphones on. And then you get to the thank yous and you see all these new bands. Like that's how I found out about Face to Face.
Yeah.
I found out about Face to Face by the liner notes on a Slick Shoes record.
Oh, well,
you know?
I mean, that definitely adds up. That's probably very similar to how I found Slick Shoes and Face to Face.
And that doesn't happen anymore either. Like
no.
It's
I mean, people don't have that kind of attention span for music anymore, or people's relationship to music is different now. Like I don't know, I was very obsessive. Like I read every word on every liner note of every CD I ever wrote.
And again, this might just be my mentality that I'm like, I don't know like why, but for me, buying a record, like a vinyl record, is so much more intentional than buying the CD. And when I put it on my player, I will like that's what I'm doing. That is my activity, is that vinyl. It's not on in the background. It's not like I'm there because that's how I want to listen to it. But so it seems like that would be the perfect medium to do what we did with CDs like not even 10 years ago, you know? It's like so I don't know. That's always been my weird thing, because it's like people don't have very long attention spans. I'm like, why are we buying records? Like
it all depends.
I think
it
It
depends.
does. It all depends on who you.
But also, look what we've done for the listener too. Like, there's never been a point in music where everyone's been like, "Okay, guys, stop. Don't do that anymore. Just stop making music." Or like, you know, like someone could have been like, "Hey, No Bragging Rights, you guys should probably not make music anymore." And then be like, fair. Or, you know, like
fair.
Like there's just been bands and bands and bands and bands and bands, so much music. How do you, I mean, I get overwhelmed thinking about looking for new music. I'm like, well, if I look on this playlist, I like this band, and this band likes this band. You go listen to them, they're not what you expected they were. It gets really it gets hard to discover new music for sure.
It's very overwhelming right now, like for sure to find new music. I mean, and even, you know, with what, you know, we do with Unsigned Pop Punk, I mean, I go through 50 plus brand new submissions a week.
Oh, wow.
And I listen to every single track, or like I listen to every submission. And it's a lot, you know, like it's very time consuming, and, you know, and you're just surprised at how many bands are out there. It's just, it's incredible. I think like we are nearing, with all of the bands that we've either got submissions from or had on the playlist. I mean, we're nearing like 1,000 bands in this scene, like just like pop punk adjacent, you know, like, you know, post hardcore, some ska like that I've got, but it's mostly like emo pop punk that I get, and sometimes I get, you know, a little bit harder stuff, but there's like 1,000 and going.
And you know, I think we can honestly pay a huge tribute to this. Like, you can make most of these guys can make records in their bedrooms,
right? Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can send you stuff that I've made on my phone that like will blow your mind. I mean, if I would have shown myself what I've demoed on my phone now in 2008 or even 2014, whenever MBR was still active, right. The technology is crazy, and it's not that expensive to actually. I mean, it used to be, you know, tens, 20s, 30s of thousands of dollars to make a record, but now you can make one in your bedroom and send it off to get mixed by your favorite mixer, and it would be sweet.
Yep, I know. I mean, Bear's Scene, like that is how I demo all of my own tracks.
In my studio that provides that for people. I literally do that for people.
I mean, I make demos on my phone, and then there's like how many people are in multiple bands, because it's so easy to record. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, when I'm going through submissions and things like that, it's like, okay, well, this one is obviously done in an actual studio and things like that. You know, obviously there's quality differences throughout, but anybody can record something at this point if you want to.
Yeah. And I mean, there's people out there that listen for quality too. Like, I mean, when I listen to a new band and their record sounds like shit, like I don't really give it that much of my attention. But if some random band worked with Will Yip and I love Will Yip, I'll be like, okay, well, I got to listen to that. And if it's not my thing, I can at least sit there and like appreciate the recording, or appreciate, you know, Yip's hands on it. Things like that.
One of the things that I've died on this hill a couple times on this podcast, but when it comes to like production and quality, it's not that I'm looking for the best production. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an artist that cares about their, like, what they're doing. You know, I've personally been in bands that have just been like, we'll record it ourselves and save the money and it'll sound great. And it sounds like trash, but because we just wanted to be penny pinchers, we decided that that was the best route to go. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. Not in the slightest. If that's how you roll, then dude, save that buck, pour it back into getting better at recording. Just pour it like back into whatever you want to do. But at the same time, when someone hands me a well-produced track, it's more than just, wow, this sounds good. It's this person gives a shit about what they're doing. They know what they're looking for when it comes to like production and quality. And this is going to be a lot more marketable for them. And this is like, and if they're coming to me to help work with them for whatever it is, or like, hey, I came out with this demo, I want your like production on it. Sick. Like, I now know the vibe and the feel that you're going for. And not necessarily like the finances that you're going for, but like the end quality product that you want and what you're willing to spend to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's never been about like the money. It's always like there are so many more factors into the idea of this song sounds good. What more can it do? And how much farther can it push? Because we've said this on the podcast before. You can have a shit production on a great song and it'll be a fucking amazing song. But you can have great production on a shit song and it's still shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's still a bad song. So yeah, and especially when you're talking about like, hey, this band worked with this band. Now I want to go listen to this. It's like, yeah, not my favorite thing, but like at least I can appreciate it. And so we kind of like veer away from this gatekeeping mentality and enter more into like an actual like constructive thinking like mentality. And I love that. I live for that kind of shit.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Also, like, I mean, if you're trying to be an accessible band, like you're going to do what it takes to sound accessible, right? Like you're not just going to write 6 songs and then go get it. You're just Joe Schmo bedroom recorder and get it done. I mean, if you really want to do it and you kind of got to pay your dues and you got to work hard and you got to grind it out on tour. You got to do as much as you can to get your name out there. And then once a label shows enough interest into you, they'll be your bank and you can go do the record that you've always wanted to do. There's nothing wrong with having a demo and shopping that around. And, like this is the state we're in, but we want to become more accessible.
It's all about how you play it and the mentality that you bring to the table.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think tone is in the hands too.
Yes,
I'm a big believer of that.
100%. If you could give, I'm gonna ask you one more question before we go to break. If you could give our listeners one piece of advice that you wish you had when you were first starting out, that now, what would it be?
You are not the shit. You need other people. You need other opinions. I think I was a pretty closed-minded person, and I was a very a very stubborn person when it came to my music and what I created, and like I didn't want anybody to touch it ever. Like, and if they were, like, oh no! But
hey, guess what? There's someone out there that's better than you and can do it better. So let them.
Yes, 100%.
Let them.
And there's
get out of your own way, dude.
There's someone better than that guy too, and that guy, there's someone better than him. There's nothing wrong with it. You're still amazing, and what you're 100%. Making is beautiful, but you need other people to get to where you want to go.
Rest easy knowing that if this is something you take seriously, one day you'll be that guy to somebody else.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Simple.
And I've had the opportunity to do that too. I've written for other bands and I had a fucking blast. I loved it. And again, when you're that guy and you're the producer and you're going in to another producer and he's the engineer as well, carrying that open-mindedness over is like contagious for the band that you're working with.
Yes. Oh, it's so, and then you just vibe.
Yeah. You just vibe and everyone's on the same page. Yep. It's so sick. I love that shit.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
Did you guys know that we have a playlist on Spotify for up and coming new bands? Well, we do. It's called the Unsigned Pop Punk Playlist. We update it bi-weekly for up and coming bands. There's 45 new tracks on there every other week. Go give it a follow on Spotify. Save it, share it. We want to help you discover your favorite new band and also discover new bands in your area that you can go out and see for as little as $5 for a show. So give the playlist a follow on Spotify at Unsigned Pop Punk. It's as easy as that.
And we're back with Daniel Garrow of No Bragging Rights. Daniel, once again, we want to thank you so much for being on the podcast. This has been fucking awesome. And you also you bring up some points that I'm really happy about, because I die on the hills that you are currently bringing up, and it just makes me happy. That's all there is to it.
You're not the only one here that's died on a hill.
I've got like
died on
5.
many a hill.
I think that's
Many a hill in
kind of
my
all
day.
of us at
Yeah.
this point. So we're gonna move on into our obscure question segment. Now we're past, we're past the music stuff. Now we're just going to ask random stuff. And normally it would be just exceptionally random. However, we organized this one specifically for you. This time we're going to talk about pizza.
Oh God. Yes. Awesome.
So,
Okay. I was like, oh no, did we upset him?
nope. No.
I was a little scared with the obscurity, but okay, if we're landing on pizza, I can handle this.
Normally
I can come up
we
with
just
obscure questions out of my
absolutely.
anywhere.
And
So,
normally
if
we
you want
ask really just random, like whatever has come to our brain when we're just writing these out.
Yep, pretty much.
That's typically how obscure questions go. But we wanted to do pizza because we wanted to talk about this, because you recently started Pizza and Riffs, which is Instagram account. Are you on other social media as well, or just Instagram right now?
Just Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. So you're just an Instagram account showcasing your incredibly delicious pizzas that you make. And most recently, I saw that you started taking orders. So first off, I would like to say how incredibly jealous I am that I am nowhere close to being able to have that pizza. Is this something you're going to be starting to do regularly?
Well, first of all, come visit Portland. I'll be glad to
he sold
accommodate.
us that.
Okay, we're on our way.
Yeah. What was the question? I'm sorry.
So since you started taking orders and stuff, is that something you're going to start doing regularly?
I'm trying to do it twice a month, bi-weekly or bi-monthly, bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. How do those work? I don't remember how those fucking work. Bi-weekly. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to do bi-weekly. I think I could probably do it every weekend. It would probably put a strain on things around the house, just because there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done around the house.
Yeah.
We have the baby.
The baby, and the baby.
A lot of times, so during the week, I get up super early for work, and my wife is super awesome and lets me sleep. I always tell her, if you need me, come get me, please get me. But she's a trooper, and she's with the baby.
The baby.
We have him together on the weekends. A lot of times I'm doing overnights on the weekends or doing early mornings with him. We're still new parents, and we're still figuring it out. And I really didn't want to put any more strain on things around the house, but I also need a little bit of an artistic outlet, and I think pizza does that for me. It checks a lot of boxes that music checked before. So
so my only concern for you is with the fact that these pizzas look so fucking good. I think you're just gonna get too busy.
I don't know. So my ordering process is not sick. It's not, you got to email me, and I've made it that way because I kind of want to make it hard for people to order for that purpose, just in case. So for example, like that last post, I've had 3 people hit me up, and it's mostly because they're like, people aren't even thinking about Saturday yet. Like your average Joe Schmo, they're going to work, doing things around grocery shopping, whatever. They're not thinking about Saturday right now. They don't realize that my dough is a 3-day process. So like I have to throw out reminders like, hey, make sure to get your orders in before Wednesday, because otherwise you're not getting pizza. So it's been all right. I'm not overwhelmed by any means.
That's awesome.
The last one that I ran, ran my first one 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And there were lessons learned. I had a lot. It was a lot going on. I kind of double booked myself, and I sazzled a couple pies, but we got through it, and everyone was happy, so that's fine. But it hasn't been overwhelming, and I want to keep it that way. I want to keep like honing in on skills and researching and learning. I don't want it to be like this crazy thing where I'm overwhelmed all the time and I'm trying to get the shit out of here. Like I want to do it at my pace. And that's originally this whole idea was going to manifest in a pop-up. It just didn't make sense. I mean, really, I put all the numbers in and I thought about everything that I need. And it would only cost me like $3,000 to start up a pop-up.
Right.
And that's like, I could probably do that, but there's a newborn and he comes first. My family comes first. When I have a creative outlet, I'll take it. But it needs to fit into my personal life. And a pop-up will just not work right now. Also, the guy, where I'm at in Portland, I'm on the outskirts. I'm in Fairview, and there's not a whole lot going on out here. Like it's kind of chill. Like, and we actually have been liking it a lot. But they're putting in a food court kind of thing just down the street from us, and I'm like, oh well, shit. Like this is my chance, you know. And I got with the organizer, and he owns a chain of teriyaki places called Joy Teriyaki around here. And I started talking with him, and I was really serious about it. And I was doing all this research on everything that I need for a pop-up. I was bugging my friend Chris. He has an Instagram account called The Nice Slice PA. He runs a pop-up out of Bethlehem, PA.
Oh yeah.
Picking his brain about his pop-up and everything. And eventually, like, the organizer wasn't really getting back to me, and I didn't want to bug him. And then I kind of started asking myself, like, well, how serious are you about this? And if this doesn't work out, what are you going to do? So I kind of took it as like, just take a step back. Like, you don't need to put all this pressure on yourself to make this happen. You know, like, keep on studying, keep on honing in on skills. I mean, one of my favorite pastimes is watching YouTube chefs, and so I'll watch.
I like eaters.
I
like watching the eaters.
Yep. And there's a ton of really awesome stuff that I've learned on YouTube or on the internet about pizza making, and I do that in my free time pretty often. My wife got me a book for Christmas that I asked for. I haven't dove into that yet, but I just, like, I really didn't want to put too much pressure on myself to get anything started right away, especially since, like, I've only been doing this for like a year or maybe 2 years. I don't know. Time slips away from me, but I haven't really been doing it long enough I feel like I haven't earned my strides yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So dude, the time will come. The time will come. I think it's going to start slow, and it's going to keep on going slow.
Well, I'll tell you
I'm just going to do what's comfortable.
When the time does come, let us know. We'll blast you all over our social media, and then Pat and I will take a trip down to Portland and get a slice.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I already shared them in our story.
Fair enough. I was like, you already went there for pizza? What the fuck? No.
Yeah, I fucking flew out there.
Since this whole segment was now going to be dedicated to pizza, because fuck it. If you were forced to eat chain pizza, like one chain pizza for the rest of your life, not like every meal, but like if you had to order pizza, just one fucking chain pizza, which one would it be, and what would
Papa John's?
Oh, that was fast.
Papa John's.
Okay.
All day.
Is it because of the garlic sauce?
No, it's because they actually know what the fuck they're doing. Like, it's pretty good pizza, like marginally. Like, I wouldn't, I'd rather go to a mom and pop place, sure,
right.
But I mean, Pizza Hut, trash, absolute trash. Domino's, I mean, it was good at one point. I think it was good, and then bad, and then good again, and now it's bad again.
It's been good since I've had it for a while now. So
really,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think Papa John's. That would be
honestly though. Yeah. Papa John's is a fair choice. Like, I
like Papa John's too. It's just not a very typical.
Right by, they kind of like slide right under everything. It's like, yeah, like they're good. It's good. It's really.
They know what's up.
Yeah. All right.
They know. Fair. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've actually had a long conversation on this podcast about pizza as well, or about like if you had to have
If you had to have like one chain pizza.
one chain, and I'm
We're talking about
pretty
pizza
sure
on a pop punk podcast. I see.
No,
right,
no shit.
right. I don't remember. Was it Toppers? Was that
Mine
your
is,
choice?
Mine is Toppers. Yes.
Yeah,
But that's a Midwest.
Toppers.
So.
Toppers.
Okay.
It's like Minnesota and Wisconsin.
It's
Oh
good.
well, if we're talking regional, because
As long as it's a chain.
Yeah, because I mean, this is
a chain.
our Toppers is a chain.
It's a chain.
It's just only located in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I mean, if we're talking regionally, I'd probably go Sizzle Pie, I guess.
Okay.
Sizzle Pie's regional. I mean, I think it's mostly Northwest. I don't even know if they're in Washington. It might just be Oregon. So
That's fair.
that might be
All right.
cheating. I don't know.
Is there a?
Oh, go ahead.
I was
Go
got one more question. Is there a CC's Pizza out by you?
I think they're probably somewhere.
Oh,
Probably
man.
somewhere.
I remember CC's pizza.
It's a pizza buffet, and
yeah.
it is the best shit pizza. But it's shit.
But you can get so
But
much.
I
of
love it. I love it. It's so good.
I know everyone lost their shit over that macaroni and cheese pizza that they had.
Mm-hmm.
It never appealed to me.
I've never liked macaroni on pizza.
I
ever.
like
It's
macaroni
never
and
been my
cheese
thing.
pizza, and I think that I want to see a pizza and Riff's macaroni and cheese pizza, and I want to see you make it really fucking good, though.
Oh God, I
I
could
have
do
faith
some
in you.
chefy
Okay,
stuff with
so
that.
that actually brings us perfectly into this next question, our last question of the segment.
All right.
Everything goes on pizza. Okay, you can put anything on pizza, but what is one thing that you personally can't stand on your pizza?
I mean, there's probably a lot, but I'd say like, can I do like 3? Or
Sure.
is it just
Sure.
one?
Yeah,
Go for it.
Go for it. Just tell us what you can't stand on your pizza.
Sorry. So anchovies.
Right.
I mean, I get it, umami,
Naturally.
but yo, it's fucking fish. I don't know about that.
No fish.
No.
Get that shit out.
Mushrooms. I mean,
Oh, that one's
I'm
that
with you.
one's relatively unpopular opinion. Okay.
I hate
you
mushrooms
know,
on pizza.
I don't like mushrooms anyway, but
Mhm.
I mean, maybe if they were on there and they were like a good mushroom, they weren't just like throwing some bullshit button mushrooms on there or whatever.
Sure. Sure.
But even then, I just think it's a weird, squishy.
Yeah, it the textures don't mesh as well as one might think they would,
Especially
when you have to bake the mushroom on the pizza.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, especially if it's like a frozen pizza with mushrooms. It's like,
Ooh, yeah, that one's rough.
get that shit out of here.
All right. What's
Yeah.
the
Also,
third one?
like, third. I didn't think about this. I had 2. I was gonna think about a third.
I thought you had it. I thought you were already there.
Yeah, I mean, we can end on
No.
2. That's fine.
There's got to be a third though, right? There's probably one out there.
I'm sure.
You know what? Actually, a big one. I really like New Haven style pizza. And it seems kind of random, but New Haven.
I don't know what that
like,
is.
Yeah, New Haven pizza is dope. It's very dope. Do a little research on it. See what's going on. Check out Sally's or Pepe's.
Okay.
So it's basically the premise behind it is it's big slices of like coal oven pizza. So it's baked super hard. It's really thin. I love it. But one of the like textbook New Haven style pizzas is whole shellfish, or what are they called? Clams, whole clam.
Oh
It's
no,
a
no.
white sauce pizza
Mm-mm.
with a whole ass clam
Mm-mm.
still in its shell, and they just throw them on there. I'm like,
Mm-mm.
that doesn't make any fucking
Still
sense.
in the
to me.
shell?
Nope.
Still in the shell. I
Nope.
don't get it.
Okay. That
I don't
wrong.
think seafood should be on pizza, period.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, I also don't like seafood, but
I wouldn't argue
Agreed.
if anybody likes seafood on pizza. I just don't ever want it near any of my pizzas. You know what I mean? Like,
also it's still in its shell. It's a logistic nightmare.
see, that one weirds me out. It's like, hey, you want to take a slice here? Let me put it down and quickly crack open the shell real quick and then put it on. Like, Or like, are you just taking it off and then eating? Because at that point, just like order clams.
See, I don't know if it's like a niche thing, like if it's just something like someone did almost with tongue in cheek, or if they're serious about it. Like, it's kind of like there's this place in New Jersey, they do what's called a cold cheese slice. So if they're in a college town, I don't remember exactly where, but
For our audience, like our audio listeners here on Spotify, both Pat and I simultaneously just found.
yeah,
What?
it's not tight.
It doesn't sound tight.
No,
so
it
explain
sounds
this
awful.
because I'm really upset right now.
I think the idea behind it was they're in a college town. They get all these drunk college kids coming in. They're stumbling all over their fucking restaurant, and they're too drunk or whatever to realize how hot the pizza is. People kept on burning their mouths. So I don't know if whoever the pizziolo or the owner or whoever was making the pizza, either ironically or like if they ironically or if they arbitrarily just threw cold cheese on the slice, like, here, eat your fucking pizza now. But they threw, it's a regular cheese pizza, goes in the oven, comes out, sick, cool, I can eat this. And then they just take a handful of cold cheese and slap it on the pizza, and it became a thing.
Okay,
And
so
then
to be
now
fair, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Okay, so there's just cold,
It's just extra cold
and
cheese.
it's I would assume it's like starting to melt, which is kind of dope. You know, I do that
No,
a
it's
lot with
cold.
stuff.
Just
it's
straight up
cold.
cold.
It's
Okay,
still cold.
So I would
and
still
it's a
try
mound
that
of
one.
cheese.
Okay,
Oh.
I would still try that. I really would.
Yeah.
But I like cheese though. So
Yeah. So, but it's still not as bad as that clams thing.
No.
Yeah.
So
It's not. No. But okay, we're gonna move on into our last segment after that debacle.
After that,
We're going
cheese
into the
mountain
last
shit.
segment. Cheese mountain.
Check it out. Cold cheese slices. It's a thing.
All right.
Clam
Well,
pizza.
and also if any of our listeners have had this cold cheese mountain, hit us up in the comments below. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna hop into our last segment here, which is rapid fire questions. This
Okay.
one you're gonna speak from the heart. You're gonna shoot from the hip. No thought. I'm gonna ask you the question. You're gonna answer it.
Oh God, no.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
No.
It's you got this, man. And the first one, they're the same every episode, and this one's still right up your alley. So it's ready to go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
As ready as I'll be.
All right. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
MTV or Fuse?
MTV.
PlayStation or Xbox?
I have no opinion, but I guess Xbox.
Fair enough. Is a sweatshirt a sweater?
No, sweatshirt's a sweatshirt.
Correct answer.
That's right.
Tom
You're
DeLonge
right.
or Matt Skiba?
Tom DeLonge.
Guitar Hero or Rock Band?
Guitar Hero.
Last question. Newfound Glory or Simple Plan?
Bro. Bro, you can't do that.
I can make it hard.
Pat and I are very split on this, so like I'm waiting to see if you pick mine or his.
I gotta go with Newfound Glory because they're like they were pioneers, dude.
That's
Simple
fair.
Plan.
I still love Newfound Glory, but like Simple Plan will always have that spot for me.
Dude, Simple Plan's got some cuts, but Newfound Glory, they'll always have a place in my heart. I mean, so does Simple Plan, but there's just if there wasn't enough room, I had to get
honestly
rid of one.
At this point, it's like whoever got there first. Honestly, that's kind of it. Like whoever got there at the moment that like you were like going through what every coming of age like movie takes you to. You know what I mean? Like whoever got there first is that band. For me,
Yeah,
that was
and
Simple Plan.
Plus Chad sang and then sang again for Shai Hulud, which is one of my favorite hardcore bands. So
yeah, it's tight as shit.
That is.
yeah.
Like I feel each time every time we do rapid fire questions, we have ended with a very difficult option. And so that they're all pretty intense here.
Yeah,
everyone is difficult.
That was not
for
an easy
everyone.
question.
Honestly, though, you nailed it. Like Nailed it.
Pioneers, man. Pioneers. They did it. They did it kind of first. I mean, the Descendants did it first, but
That's true.
yeah.
There was a lot before them, but they were pioneers in the pop punk, in the
Like
difference
the easycore-ish.
of pop punk core, because they're Blink-182 obviously was out before them and stuff, and they were like a lot more obviously the
And we're not
pioneers
even like getting started on easycore and A Day to
but
Remember.
yeah, but like they were easy core before easy core was a thing.
Yeah, 100%.
So I watched this guy named Finn McKenty. He has this podcast called Punk Rock MBA, and he refers to them as TRL core, and I absolutely love that. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, that's about as accurate as it gets.
100%.
I agree with that. But that's it, man. You did the podcast, you passed, you finished
it. Oh my god, I made it.
The last thing we just want you to do is want you to plug your band, plug your brand, plug all your stuff. Tell us where we can find you and what's next.
Cool. Yeah. MBR has a show coming up in Santa Ana, California. That'll be our first show back in 7 years. Super excited for that. We don't really have any plans to tour. Touring does not really fit in our personal lives, but if I can help it, I would like to continue putting out music and playing shows when I can, or when we can. We're all very busy with our own stuff going on.
Being adults and shit.
Being adults, yep. Being adults. We're grown-ups. We're 35 plus. I think I'm the youngest member, actually. So I think Mike's pushing 40.
Yeah, it's still a young guy.
Man,
what are you saying?
I'm a youngin'. Dude, I'm 27 and I just got out of my band.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You got out when you could.
Well, I wouldn't put it that way, but
is there anything else you want our listeners to know?
Anything at all, man?
Yeah, I mean, follow my pizza account. Sure, go for it. If you like to look at cool pizza, sure. You're not really gonna be able to eat it, but you can look at it, so that's cool.
I mean, we eat with our eyes, right?
And
yeah,
people watch shit on. We just talked about this. People watch shit on YouTube all the time. And start making videos of you making the shit, man. We'll watch it.
I will watch.
Oh yeah,
so
not a bad idea.
And then throw it on TikTok.
Yeah. And yeah, don't just do what you love, man. I'm 35 and I still don't have it completely figured out. I played in a band where I made no money. I married my best friend. We have a child together, and that shit's fucking sick. But be creative in your personal time whenever you can, as much as you can, and do what you love and do what makes you happy.
Wow, right on, brother.
And
I love it.
On that note, this has been another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go, a podcast about life in the music industry. Pat, I will see you next week.
Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe. Thank you to those who already are. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere else you stream your podcast. If you're in the position to help us grow, head over to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/unsignedpoppunk. Let us know in the comments below who you'd like to see on the show and what other content you'd like to see. Thanks so much.